Hey guys, welcome to the backyard where we are talking about burnout today. We know this is a major issue. It is second to retirement for nurses leaving the profession right now. So we absolutely need to dive into this. Whether you are currently a nursing student, you are working bedside at the nurse, you know about burnout, or you're an educator or a manager trying to change the conditions of work so that we can avoid burnout, this is going to be for you. Now we're outside in the backyard today, so I don't know what's going to happen. The birds are quite active, and I thought I would come outdoors today because this is one of the places I find zen, and it helps me balance out the pressures of our everyday work. So I thought I would share a little bit of my backyard with you today as we talk about burnout. Now let's talk about the stats first because I know your left brains are going to want to hear this stuff. Before COVID, we had an average quit rate in nursing around 22-24%. Since COVID, it has been 30%. Our people are burning out faster than we can replace them. And this is leaving healthcare agencies short with staffing, so much so that it is up to 17%, which is a 7% hike in vacancy rates, according to the stat. And this change in vacancy rate is costing millions. For every percent difference, 2017 to 2020, we had the average of 22-24% turnover rate. And for every increase in percentage point by 1%, so from 24 to 25%, it costs organizations over $250,000 in costs. That's staggering. And we've actually jumped 7 points. We're at over 30% turnover rate right now, which is costing organizations millions. So this is definitely something you as an individual or an organization will want to pay attention to. Now, the American Journal of Nursing reported that upwards of 54% of our nurses and our physicians, our frontline healthcare providers, are suffering from burnout. And in 2022, the NSI National Health Care Retention and RN Staffing Report identified that we have a big problem, folks. Hospitals are experiencing the highest vacancy rate ever, and their vacancy rates are almost 18%. And that is up 7 points from last year. So let's start by defining what nurse burnout is. Nurse burnout is the state of mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion. And it's often caused by sustained work-related stressors, such as long hours, having to make difficult decisions in very short amounts of time, and the strain of caring for patients that have poor outcomes. Now listen, as a nurse working Emerge ICU, I definitely carried home a lot of the stress that my families went through. And I still think about some of those moments today, many, many years later. Now, if you're wondering, how do I know if I'm suffering from burnout? The earliest signs are that there's a feeling of detachment or disengagement with the people, the work, the job. And if we don't address that, this can lead to more significant feelings such as being cynical, feeling hopeless, and even depression. Now, some of those things that we talked about, we're just not able to influence. So the long hours of work, the high acuity, those are things that we're not able to influence. So when it comes to managing your own risks for burnout, we're looking at those resiliency strategies that support you when you're not at work. Good self-care. And the risks are not just for you. When we have high nurse burning out, we have significant impacts to our patients as well. We have higher infection rates. We have higher mortality rates, and we have lower satisfaction rates. So I'd like to share with you 3 strategies that might help you to reduce the risk of burnout and put you back into the better health side of things, okay? So number 1, if you're an organization, we're gonna start here, I want you to re-recruit your staff. Get to know them all over again as if you're on your first date. What interests them? Because when you hired them, they likely had some goals and ambitions that maybe have shifted as a result of all of the stress and strain. So spend some time getting to know them. Learn about the stressors outside of work that might be impacting how they're showing up at work. And connect them with the resources within the organization, such as your employee assistance program, counseling, mental health supports, in order to support them further. And as you're getting to know your staff again and finding out what's changed for them over the last couple of years, you may find that the solutions that you're seeking are already in that conversation. Perhaps they need an improved work schedule to deal with a sick, ailing parent at home that they've been caring for while they're caring for the patients on the floor as a result of COVID. Maybe what they need is just structured breaks, that they know that they can count on somebody to cover them, and that hasn't happened for a while, and you may be able to support that. In that conversation may be the answers you're looking for to help build the resiliency and better balance the workplace so they are less likely to suffer from burnout. All right, so the second thing organizations can do is to reward their employees. Now, obviously, this first comes to mind is financial. And if you do an environmental scan and find out that your competitors are paying way more than you are, you may need to pony up a little bit of cash in order to keep your talent from becoming somebody else's. But we also know money does not keep people at an organization. In fact, it's more likely that they are aligned with the values of the organization and that you as a leader are embodying and living those values, and that there are career opportunities and opportunities for growth. People love to grow. They like to be challenged and learn. And so what opportunities are coming up in your organization that may be a fit for this person? So if you've done step one and you re-recruited them and got to know them, you may, do you hear that siren? You may find out that they have new interests that you didn't know about, that they would best be suited for a new opportunity coming up the pipeline. And that leads us into number 3 from an organizational perspective, and that is check your values. I mentioned it in number 2, but if your values are not aligned with the values of the person that you are trying to keep in your employ, they won't stay. If your values are nothing more than an annual checklist item that they have to watch a 30-minute video to remind them of the values, but they are not lived in the organization, they won't stay. Research shows that when employees are aligned with the values of an organization, they will actually adopt the values of an organization as their priority values. And so this is a critical step to make sure that you're walking in alignment with the values of the organization. It's being lived and seen every day. Talk about it in your morning meetings. One of the values that I see that is often out of step is that we value our people. Now, valuing your people is a broad umbrella, but in my space where we're talking about relationships, conflict resolution, and workplace bullying, if you value the people, but your lower level managers who are dealing with us on a daily basis are not equipped with the tools on how to navigate this and successfully resolve these issues, then the people will see that you're not in alignment of valuing people. So this is one where you can really make some inroads quickly by just walking the walk, talking the talk, and getting the training that you need in order to make sure all of your people are valued. Now, if you're the nurse and you're like, okay, that's great, my organization has all these responsibilities, but they're not doing anything, I still want to stay here, what do I do? I've got some ideas for you as well. The first thing is to look at your resiliency plan. Now, we don't often talk about this, and resiliency has been left down to like a workshop and a checkbox again, where you come and you learn about the common signs of burnout and you learn about the most common techniques to prevent it, such as sleep, nutrition, hydration, exercise, but we don't personalize it. And so I want you to look at the areas of your life in where you're exceeding and the areas of your life where you are not succeeding, and just kind of rate it out of 10, 0 to 10. How happy are you with your relationships, with your self-care, with your personal growth, with your hobbies, and list everything out that matters to you. I mean, I do a resiliency workshop and we have a wheel of resiliency, but you don't really need to have that. You can just think about all the things that you love and enjoy and that you'd like to have in your life. Quality of relationships, time off, and just give it a score from 0 to 10. 0 is, I'm not happy with this. 10 is, I'm extremely happy, nothing needs to change. And just notice where things are going really well and notice where they're not. And then you can decide which one of those concepts, so whether this is sleep, nutrition, hydration, exercise, those main 4, or it might be self-care, this might be relationships, this could be hobbies, this could be time off, this could be quality of relationships. Whatever you choose to focus on, that's going to help bolster up your resiliency, and will probably be a domino effect with the other ones. So for example, if my self-care is low, the quality of my relationships is probably also low because I'm not feeling good about myself. I don't feel I have the capacity for others. So if I start to build in self-care for me, guess what that's going to do? I'm going to start to be happier with me. I'm going to feel more rested, better cared for, and that's going to translate into the quality of my relationships. So pick one that can be a domino effect. Now, aside from that, there's lots you can do. Obviously, you may want to look at your schedule. If your schedule isn't supporting your lifestyle, maybe it's about looking for a different position in the nursing field that has a different schedule for you, that benefits you and your family. Take your breaks. I can't stress this one enough. Take your darn breaks, the patients will still be there, the hospital will still be standing, and you will have your 15, 30-minute break so that you can get a mental, physical, and emotional separation from the work that you need to recover and come back feeling even stronger. I know many of you don't take your breaks, so I'm gonna tell you now, I'm giving you full permission to take your breaks. Work with your team, make it happen. And the other thing you can do is to seek out support. Don't wait till it's too late. I did that. I was burnt out, I was tired, I was angry, and it took me a long time to recover. So use your benefits that are provided to you. Reach out to your employee assistance program, go to therapy, get a life coach if you need. I do that as well. Get some support to help you navigate through these challenges so that you can tap into the strength and the resilience you have already and continue to build that. Now, if it's a relationship you're struggling with that's really causing you a lot of stress and tension, that seems to be the barrier, pick up your 10 safe conversation starters. These are going to help you address 10 of the most offensive workplace behaviors that you may be experiencing with a single scripted response to help diffuse the tension, stop the behavior, and open up a real conversation so you can get back to connection, back to support, and back to living the peaceful life you deserve. As always, guys, take care of yourselves. Burnout is real, it's on the rise, and together, from a leadership all the way down to our individual agency, we can make a difference. Now go on out there and make it a great day.